Afrika Bambaataa is the one that did the bid with me.
So he was locked up for murder too?
No, he wasn't locked up, but he should have been locked up. He was my getaway driver. Yep, I'm telling. He's a pervert. It is what it is. Him and I met his manager, the dude that lived and slept in a room next door to him, was actually my getaway drivers. They never got picked up because I never told on them. Not only was the environment that I was living in Bronx River, but then you got to understand, the older dudes, I always hung out with dudes that was 10 years older than me. See, I'm not like these dudes that's running around, that's hanging out with the younger boys. If you look at the pictures, even still, most of the pictures I'm in, the dudes is like 10 years, everybody's 10 years older than me. So when I was that age, I had grown men putting guns in my hand. Putting guns in my hand. Like, you got to understand something. Everybody know about Hassan Campbell. This is Poppy we talking about.
What's the difference?
This is the same. The difference is, anybody that knows Poppy, I was the one that was raised by B.O. You see what I'm saying? I was the one that was running with Xavier Williams. Like, some of the names that I actually was raised with is legendary names in the game. I came up with some of the most elite, dangerous niggas in New York City. And it wasn't a beef that I wasn't involved with, even with the Sex Money Murder beef with B.O. When B.O. was murdered, that was before Sex Money Murder was blood. I was in jail when B.O. got murdered. When Pistol Pete came to jail, this is what continued, like, certain things happen. I don't really want to get into that story. Shout out to Pete. You know, I pray to God that one day he make it home. But me and Pete ended up coming from enemies to being cool with each other, actually getting it on in the yard with other ops.
Really?
Because it got to the point that that's all we had was us. At one point in time on Rikers Island, it was me, Pete, Xavier Williams, Eric Bennett, Uptown, Lucinda, what up? It was elite niggas with each other. You see what I'm saying? I come from an era that's totally different, where dudes was really, really getting money. These young boys is dropping bodies just to get on camera to say, I'm smoking Tuka. May that young boy rest in peace. One of the worst feelings in the world is to actually bury your child, and then you hear a car pull up next to you, and they bumping a song talking about they rocked your child's snot box. A lot of people get mad because I started using that slang.
That's another thing too. So, like, you know, I've gotten criticism in the way I covered Chicago. Now, let me give some context. I was disgusted by Chicago. I think people don't realize that. I was hearing about a place that sounded like this is not America. Like, it's no way, like, people are like killing, like, people were dropping like flies. Like, you would know somebody and they would die tomorrow, and then you hear about another guy die the next day, and it just didn't seem real. Now, of course, I wanted to just be like, I wanted to make videos and say, this is whack. But at that time, it was, yo, everybody's listening to Chief Keef, like, yo, what you mean? We smoking on whatever. You're lame if you say it's whack. So this is how, like, you're right with the music. Popular culture becomes, no, we're all smoking on that nigga. So you're lame if you say it's whack. So I said, how could I fucking get my point across? I chose to use satire. And in satire, I started giving niggas nicknames and shit like that, hoping to get across the point like, yo, this isn't some normal shit. But I was vilified for it. I think in some of the what they're angry at you about too, it's like when you like, oh, was it rocking the snot box or whatever? They don't like that you say that. It seems disrespectful.
No. That's bullshit. It's not that they don't like that I say it. What it is that they don't like the fact that I'm winning. Every time they count me out, you gotta understand something, right? You got dudes, rappers, all types of people that's failing at what they want to be at in life, they goal. This shit wasn't something that I wanted. Like when people talk about, oh, you used this story with Afrika Bambaataa to make it. Now let me break something down. Anybody that really listens to my story, when Star put my video up, talking about Afrika Bambaataa, after some of my Zulu brothers came to me, I begged Star to take that video down. I was humiliated and embarrassed and wanted this shit to go away.
Why did you choose to tell your truth? Like, what did you think it was gonna help? Or were you having just turmoil inside, just not, did you feel like you weren't probably standing up if you didn't speak out?
Well, you gotta understand something. First and foremost, people got to understand when they say I was still around Afrika Bambaataa raised me. He was like my father. Like my father. Like you got to understand when on some real shit, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't give a damn. With the murder case that happened in 94, that happened after, like I told you, September 4th, I got locked up. September 3rd is my birthday. September 5th, I was on the run for shooting Max from Trio. September 6th.
Wait, hold on. You can say this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on the run for shooting Max.
Okay.
Right? That's the first charge I got locked up for with Max. Or rather, not the first one, but that's on the first, like, that made me go on a run. The very next day, I was on the run for murder. Afrika Bambaataa is the one that did the bid with me.
So he was locked up for murder too?
No, he wasn't locked up, but he should have been locked up. He was my getaway driver. Yep, I'm telling. He's a pervert. It is what it is. Him and I met his manager, the dude that lived and slept in the room next door to him, was actually my getaway drivers. They never got picked up because I never told on them.
So, wow.
Right. So now you got to understand.
Did you beat you clearly beat the case?
Yeah. No, actually, my co-defendant beat it. When I copped out, which I showed niggas the paperwork because they could be lying, he never was locked up. I copped out to assault in the first because when they separated my trial, my co-defendant beat trial. They had less evidence on me. So now all they wanted was a conviction.
He beat the murder.
He beat the murder. I copped out to 1.5, 4.5. I already had 3 years on Rikers Island. So I went up to Washington and came right back down and came home, and I came home into a war zone. So now I'm coming home.
So by the way, and just for clarity, it's double jeopardy. So they can't like, we're bringing it back.
I copped out already.
So you can say whatever.
Yeah, I can say whatever. I copped out already.
Damn.
I copped out already. So, I did my time for that. And you know what I mean?
He could be charged though.
No, he beat the case.
No, well, I'm talking about Afrika Bambaataa. If you say
Afrika Bambaataa, he could be charged.
If you say he was a getaway driver.
Yeah, he was the getaway driver. Him and Ahmed. Yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ.
let me explain something to you, right? Like, people gotta understand something. When I told people if I wanted to put him in jail, I could. When I first came out, I didn't want to put him in jail. I just wanted the world to know that he was playing daddy daycare with children. You see what I'm saying? When dudes say I used this to get on, no, I begged people to take my video down because I didn't want this life. I didn't want to be on the internet no more. I was already famous on the internet for breeding my dogs.